Hello, my name is Eben Goodstein, and I am Director of the Graduate Programs in Sustainability at Bard College in New York in the United States. I'm asking you to help us focus the world on the 30th of March, 2022. Join the worldwide teach-in on climate and justice and help get hundreds of thousands of students across the world talking about the work we need to do to stabilize the climate and build a sustainable future. We are living at an extraordinary moment in the human project. We have 10 years to aggressively cut global warming pollution, and that is all we have. We do not get this decade back. As climate-aware educators and climate-aware students, there is nothing we can do that is more important right now than to come together and focus the world on the critical solutions happening in your region today and on the work ahead. Our goal is to get 1,000 colleges, universities, high schools, K-8 schools engaged in serious dialogue about climate solutions, 500,000 students, 500,000 participants talking about what we can do to change the future who otherwise wouldn't be involved in that conversation, and we need your help to do it. Here's how you can participate. The easiest way, simply show your Global Dialogue webinar at your institution, your high school, your college, your university. It provides a regional focus on climate solutions. In this year, 2021, in April, we hosted over 100 or helped organize over 100 university-hosted webinars on green recovery, climate solutions, and justice in the transition in over 40 countries across the planet. At universities all across the world, they brought together climate experts, student activists, indigenous voices to focus on three big things that could happen in these different parts of the world over the next year or two that could really move us along towards solving climate in the next 10 years. So this work has already been done for you, and the simplest way to participate on March 30th, 2022 is just show one of the dialogues. And we have a library of these from all across the planet, from Taiwan, from South Africa, from Singapore to Mexico, Malaysia, the Netherlands. These videos are available for you, and they do the work, right? They've already brought together the climate experts to have a conversation that can spark a real focus on solutions within your region at your school. So that is the simplest way to participate. More ambitiously and more importantly, we'd like you to organize an in-person one-night climate teach-in on March 30th, 2022, an in-person event coming out of COVID. And what we've discovered doing this for many years is that the key to success for an in-person event on a campus is faculty engagement. If you can get a couple of dozen or more faculty from across disciplines, across your campus together for one night talking about climate solutions, that's going to mean 200, 300, 400, 500 students involved, because those faculty are going to inspire and require their students to come. And they're really going to provide the intellectual tone and leadership to make this a serious evening of conversation that is going to impress students and really motivate them to take additional educational steps. So that's the key, faculty involvement. How do you do that? How do you do that? Well, we've learned, and we've done this many times, most recently at Bard College just before the pandemic, February 2020, we had one of these one-night teach-ins. And the structure is basically 3 hours of concurrent panels, 1 hour long. You can have 3 or 4 panels per hour. And so, for example, in the first hour of our event, we had panels on climate injustice, climate science, what you need to know, and climate communication, winning the story wars. In those panels, we had an economics faculty member talking about guaranteed jobs and the Green New Deal. We had a politics faculty member talking about climate and global inequality. We had 3 scientists, a climatologist, a water expert, a biologist, talking about various dimensions of climate science. And then communication, we had an anthropologist, a physicist, a philosophy and religious studies major, and a filmmaker talking about how to win the story wars. We had student moderators of all these panels, so we were engaging students as well. The second hour, similar structure, panels on climate solutions, cities and climate, and dealing with climate depression. Here we had our chief sustainability officer, a politics faculty member from our graduate program, an Asian studies faculty member talking about China and climate change. In the cities and climate section, we were able to engage 2 different history professors, an architecture professor, our town mayor. And then in dealing with climate depression, we had a member of fine arts faculty, a psychologist, a sociologist, and a literature professor talking about climate fiction. And then in the final hour, we had a wrap-up panel. And here we engaged another member of the politics faculty, another member of environmental and urban studies, an associate dean, MBA faculty member, and our chief financial officer. And the focus was what we can do. Well, we can rise up as students, we can vote, we can organize communities, we can talk and communicate, we can entrepreneur. And we ended up with a conversation about how BARD itself can lead. Now, the exact structure of these panels is not critical, right? The key is that in 3 hours, we had 25 BARD faculty and staff presenting, and they don't have to be experts. Very few of these people are climate experts, right? But they could all talk for 5 minutes about these issues related to climate change from their disciplinary perspective. And that means that they had very little prep, right? Faculty members, it's very easy for them to talk for 5 minutes about issues around cities and history or architecture or education or climate or business, whatever their field is. Very easy for them to engage. And the structure of these panels is, 4 faculty talking for 5 minutes each, that's 20 minutes, and then a good half an hour for real engagement. So it's not students being lectured at, it's really a chance for dialogue, and that makes them high energy sessions that are very engaging and really inspire the students because of the faculty leadership. We also had 8 students moderating or presenting panels. And the fields represented: anthropology, architecture, history, literature, physics, philosophy, religious studies, art, environmental studies, film, politics, business, sociology, Asian studies, geography, and it's easy to build that list out. All right. So the point I want to make here is that the best way to engage hundreds of students on your campus, across your campus, and not just the 30 or 40 who would show up for a normal climate lecture, is to engage a couple of dozen faculty. This never happens on campus. To get that many faculty together talking about an issue across disciplines, it will make your deans happy, it will make your administrators happy, and it will provide an exciting evening of conversation that can really spark further dialogue and action. So I want to emphasize as well that this seems complicated, but it is truly easy to organize. It really takes very little time to put together this kind of panel structure. It takes 3-4 faculty or staff or students to do this, meet as a group. We're going to provide you with many, many options, panels that you can put together. And it's sort of like a jigsaw puzzle, and you can decide what's best for your institution. Have 6 panels or 8 panels in those first 2 hours. Modify them slightly if desired. Once you have your panels, then brainstorm which faculty or staff to ask to speak. Maybe you're going to ask Karen Suarez from the psychology department or William Johnson from the English department. But there's 3 or 4 of you, you'll know who are those climate concerned faculty, who are the ones who care, who are going to say yes because they understand, how extraordinarily important this moment is, and they want to be involved in solutions, and they're going to be eager to participate. They only have to talk for 5 minutes. There's very little prep for them. So they will say yes. They will say yes. Then once you have your program and your speakers, reserve your rooms. We'll give you a sample poster, sample program, just plug the information into that, promote, and you're done. That's it. And what you've got, once again, is an on-campus environment event with dozens of faculty that is going to drive widespread student participation. So to summarize, we need your help building the Worldwide Teach-In on March 30th, 2022. The easiest way to do this is just to show your Global Dialogue webinar. The universities in your region have already brought together climate experts to talk about what climate solutions look like in your region. That's a great basis for conversation. The second approach is to organize that in-person event. As we come out of COVID, people will be eager to get together. And with our one-night climate teach-in model, you can get hundreds of students talking about climate change in person with that energy flowing forwards. Or you can get creative. Option 3. There are many, many ways and many different ways that you can engage a day of conversation, an evening of conversation about climate solutions on your campus. And we welcome any kind of participation that you want to drive. There will be more ideas coming for universities, high schools, K-8 at our website, www.solveclimateby2030.org. And we welcome your ideas. Let us know what you're doing so that we can help share that vision with the world. Here's what we need you to do. We need you to ask every climate concerned teacher, every climate concerned student, every climate concerned person that you know to do one thing in the next 6 months. One thing. And that's to attend one of our information sessions. These are going to be happening the first Wednesday of every month starting July. It's only a half an hour commitment of their time. It's all they have to do in the next 6 months. Come learn about this project and see if they want to get involved, see if they want to get committed. There's no work required until January of 2022. That's when you have to start actually organizing these events. So for the next 6 months, all we need you to do is help us drive tens of thousands of concerned teachers, of climate concerned students and citizens to our informational websites to build the army of folks who are ready to roll in January of 2022 to build out this massive global event. You can sign up to stay informed again at our website, and there's a box you can check if you want to step up and take a leading role in organizing the worldwide teach-in on your campus, your high school, your university, your K school. And we need you to step up. That is the moment in which we're living. The world's top scientists have told us that we have 10 years to aggressively cut global warming pollution in order to stabilize the climate and build a just and sustainable world for ourselves, for our kids, for all life on Earth. There is nothing more important than we can do together over the coming year than to fight for this future. The exciting thing is we can do this. We have the tools and technologies and networks and business models to rewire the world with clean energy, redesign cities across the earth, reimagine the global food system, reinvent transportation, regenerate forests and farmlands and oceans. All this we can accomplish, but only if we focus the world on climate solutions. Time is short. On March 30th, 2022, you can be a leader. You can bring hundreds of people together on your campus, hundreds of thousands across the world, focusing on how to solve climate by 2030. We need your help. Join us. I'm excited to be working with you over the coming year.